The Buffalo Bills may be preparing for one of the most dramatic roster changes in years. And if you're a true fan, you need to hear this. Behind the scenes, big decisions are being made that could affect the franchise's future in 2025 and beyond. From a potential replacement for Matt Milano to last-minute free agents who could still make an impact and a big push for a young tight end. What comes next could shape Buffalo's destiny. Don't blink, because every detail matters. The Buffalo Bills aren't just trying to win, they're trying to win now. But as we look toward the 2026 season, tough choices are already looming. More immediately, what happens if two crucial pieces of the starting lineup, Matt Milano and James Cook, aren't brought back? Milano, a key defensive back since 2017, is in the final year of a one-year, $6 million contract. He's 30 years old and has had a series of injuries, raising serious questions about his long-term reliability. James Cook, meanwhile, has emerged as a capable and dangerous offensive weapon, but he's also set to hit free agency in 2026, and the latest reports indicate the Bills aren't specific about re-signing him. Translation: this could be Cook's final season in a Bills uniform. With both players potentially out next season, Buffalo will need replacements, and fast. That brings us to Anthony Hill Jr., the Texas Longhorns linebacker so many scouts and insiders have raved about. Clutch Point's Enzo Flojo believes Hill is a perfect fit for the Bills, not just as a depth player, but as a future centerpiece of the defense. Hill's 2024 campaign was jaw-dropping: 113 total tackles, 17 tackles for loss, and 8 sacks. And it's not just the raw stats, it's how Texas has utilized him. Hill has played everywhere: edge, inside linebacker, and even running back. His football IQ is elite, and he's already played defensive signal caller for the Longhorns, all before he turned 22. That kind of youth, coupled with high-end production and high specificity, is rare. Rare enough to make Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott think long-term. If Milano stays healthy, Hill could be his sidekick. If not, Hill could become the new anchor of this defense for years to come. And make no mistake, Hill isn't just a good player. He's part of a Texas team poised to make a run at a national title. If he wins again in 2025, the hype is guaranteed, and Buffalo might want to secure his services before anyone else does. So here's the question. If the Milano era is coming to an end, is Hill the future? So if Matt Milano and James Cook are truly nearing the end of their careers in Buffalo, replacing them won't come solely through the draft. The Bills may need to lean on experience, and that's where these unsigned veterans come in. As fireworks light up skies across the country, a different spark is still missing for some NFL veterans. A new season, a new contract, and a new opportunity. While fans celebrate Independence Day, some veterans and elite players remain unsigned, waiting for that phone call that will reignite their careers. And yes, one of them may be heading back to where it all began: Buffalo. Let's start with Keenan Allen. A master route runner with 6 1,000-yard seasons and 6 Pro Bowl appearances, Allen has long been one of the league's most consistent wide receivers. Even at 33, he still has the ability to move chains and create separation. Last season with the Chargers, he recorded 70 receptions for 744 yards and 7 touchdowns, leading the way, despite catching passes from rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. That statistic just goes to show he can still produce. But there's a catch: his health. Allen has missed 20 games in the last 3 years. A nagging heel injury lingered throughout the 2024 season and limited his explosiveness. Still, in an offense that demands leadership and accuracy in the short and intermediate game, Allen could still be an ideal addition, especially for a Super Bowl contender like the Chiefs, or even the Bills. If the right price and role are clear, this one could add value, even on a one-year deal. Then there's Amari Cooper, a player who seemed destined to reunite with the Cowboys, but instead split his 2024 season between Cleveland and Buffalo. The trade to the Bills didn't exactly revive his numbers. Cooper totaled just 44 receptions for 547 yards and 4 touchdowns with both teams. But a hidden joy? His 14.9 yards per catch while in Buffalo, tying a career high. It shows he still has the potential to make big plays. The question now is whether the Bills view him as a potential insurance policy, especially after losing Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. A short-term, incentive-laden deal to bring him back as a depth weapon could make a lot of sense, especially with the uncertainty surrounding the wide receiver group heading into training camp. Speaking of Davis, Gabe Davis was once a beloved weapon in Buffalo, a 4th-round pick who became a threat in the red zone and had breakout performances in the playoffs. In 2024, he signed a lucrative 3-year, $39 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but his season was derailed by a knee surgery in Week 11, limiting him to just 20 catches for 239 yards and 2 touchdowns. The disappointing campaign led many to question whether the Jags were overpaying him. However, before the injury, Davis had proven to be one of the most resilient and consistent wideouts in the league, averaging nearly 700 yards and nearly 7 touchdowns per season with Buffalo. And here's the kicker. kicker. His contract is partially guaranteed through 2025, but rumors have it he could be available if cleared by doctors. The Steelers have already brought him in for a visit, but he's backed out due to injury concerns. If he passes his physical in the next few weeks, don't rule out a reunion with the Bills, especially if the team is looking for a familiar face who knows the system and has chemistry with Josh Allen. Finally, we come to Rasul Douglas, a name that should resonate loudly with Bills Mafia. A Super Bowl champion with the Eagles in 2017, Douglas brought a veteran presence and leadership to Buffalo's secondary after arriving via trade from Green Bay in 2023. In 2 seasons with the Bills, Douglas recorded 87 tackles, 4 interceptions, and a pick 6, proving he still had plenty of gas left in the tank. But things quickly changed after the team traded its 2025 first-round pick to Kentucky's Maxwell Hairston, a young, vocal cornerback who should start right away. That's made Douglas expendable, but not irrelevant. At 31, he's still drawing interest. The Minnesota Vikings, who allowed the 5th most passing yards per game in 2024, are considering a deal to bolster their secondary. If that doesn't happen, other teams could step in. And here's where it gets interesting for Bills fans. Time knows Douglas, Davis, and Cooper. Continuity is important in the NFL. If injuries prove serious during training camp, or if a wide receiver or cornerback core fails to impress, these former Bills players could return as backups by midsummer. Don't be surprised if Brandon Beane lands a low-risk, high-reward signing right before the preseason starts. But while the front office is weighing its options, not all the pressure is on the players already on the roster. But while the front office explores those veteran options, the spotlight is already shining on a young star who doesn't have the luxury of time. For Dalton Concaid, 2025 isn't just another season, it's a make-or-break season. Dalton Concaid entered the NFL with high expectations. A first-round pick out of Utah, he was touted as the next great tight end in the NFL. And after a solid rookie year, 673 yards and 2 touchdowns, fans expected 2024 to be his breakout season. Instead, it was a setback. Concaid only threw for 448 yards and 2 touchdowns last season, battling injuries and inconsistency. In a year when the Bills' offense grew under coordinator Joe Brady, Concaid fell behind, both statistically and in terms of performance. Now, heading into 2025, the pressure is on. According to A to Z Sports, Concaid is one of the top players facing a prove-your-worth season. Why? Because this year will determine not only his role in the offense, but also his future contract. If Concaid bounces back and puts up numbers like he did in 2023, or better, the Bills could try to offer him a contract extension before his 5th-year option kicks in. But what if he stalls again? Buffalo may be hesitant to fully commit, especially with salary cap flexibility being a crucial factor. And here's the real concern. Concaid will be 28 when he hits free agency. That's not old, but it's past the prime years for many NFL tight ends. Without a strong season now, he could find himself looking for a new home or fighting for a backup spot in 2026. Dawson Knox, once a reliable target, is falling down the depth chart. The opportunity is there. Concaid just needs to stay healthy and make himself indispensable. If the Bills are truly entering a new era, which of those decisions will be most crucial? Taking a chance on a young linebacker like Anthony Hill, bringing back a veteran like Gabe Davis, or demanding that Dalton Concaid finally see if you become the star that everyone expected? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel, but later I will come back to update you with the latest news from Buffalo Bills.